And we are live at WAFFLEBOARD Breaks. Welcome, everybody to WAFFLEBOARD Breaks. Tuesday night Facebook claim single box break. We have this, and then we have Thursday, same spot prices as tonight's. So we are down to 28 boxes. So this is we only have 6 more to go before the reload. We have 2 this week, Tuesday and Thursday. And then the double box on Sunday is the last double box before the reload goes in. Of course, and then we have 2 boxes next week, the last 2 Facebook boxes before the reload is in for the following Sunday. So I'm still finalizing the list of reloads. I might not get up to 16, maybe a little bit short. So we'll see where it goes. I have a dozen or so, and if something hits that I have a good backup for, I will have a couple extras, but we'll see how it goes between now and at the end of the weekend. So we got 4 more boxes to go before then, and then 2 on next week before the reload is in there for Sunday. So like I said, lots of good jerseys still to be hits. Lots of good chase stuff for you guys, some serious targets. We took out one of the reload boxes. Now we're down to 13 of the reload. So 13 of the 28s are from the new reload. Of course, 7 from the previous reload. So that's 20 of our 28 boxes. So nothing really old anymore. I think we have the 1 box is from, I think, August. And then the other one's from October. And then November, December is 3 boxes each. And then January and February, no, the other way around. So there's one that's missing. So I think it's September and November, single boxes, and then December, January, 3 boxes from each of those runs. February 7, and then March 13. So we're moving along pretty well. We're clearing out some of the old stuff, hitting some of the new stuff. We'll see what happens for the next several boxes. If we're able to clear out the old stuff, or just start feasting on the new stuff. I know you guys have been aggressively hunting the new stuff. Some really great jerseys to be hit. We'll see what comes out over the next week or so. But like I said, I'm rooting for everybody. I don't root against anybody, and there's no jersey I will be sad if it comes out. Like I said, all these jerseys I want to see get into you guys' hands, and there's nothing that I feel it's too vital to the brand that I don't want to see disappear. So how you gotta be. You gotta take the huge hits with the average hits and your even your couple of your lesser hits, but there's no bad hits. And you guys know, I mean, all these jerseys are legit licensed with legit COAs, and I mean you've seen the pictures, you've seen the jerseys in the bags. I mean, they're all posted on Facebook. If anybody ever wants to browse anything, you want any information about any jersey, of course I can't show it to you because they're all boxed up, and I have no idea where anything is except for the 2 single boxes. But I can definitely give you some information. Obviously, we know all the COA companies, we know the newer ones as well as some of the older ones, and all the great ones. Obviously, Fanatics has become a big time, major across the sports, a COA monster and autograph material producer. But we still have some heavies. Obviously, AJ is still big. Frameworth is pretty big. Obviously, more up north of the border. But David Adams DNA has got, they're responsible for a lot of the customs that are out there on the market. But they still do some pretty decent licensed stuff too. So some of the stuff we've seen come out licensed is DNA. So it's not like they just fill their stuff with their junk products. I mean, there's some really nice licensed stuff from DNA as well. So I'm not gonna disparage them. Even though we know the regular hit parade is very heavy with customs. Obviously every other sport is almost a majority customs in their products. So it's hockey seems to be the one where it hurts the most because the licensed stuff is so beautiful. Some of the jerseys, where they've changed. Some of the teams change regularly. Some of the alternate jerseys are really cool. Reverse retro is a great idea for having multiple jerseys for different players, because you're not stuck with just home or away. Obviously, it gets into your pockets when you're able to chase variations of jerseys for your diehard players. If you're a personal, a PC for individuals, you're able to get multiple. I have several of my, PC items are multiples of players I have in the PC. So it's always ignites your thirst for to add a new piece when you see one of the variations available. So that's what I'm saying. I always try to hunt down like the alternate stuff, the vintage Fanatic stuff. I'm a big fan of the older school jerseys. Tough to find CCMs. I still do find some, which there's 3 in their boxes still. I think I have at least maybe one ready for the reload, but there's 3 still boxed up in those 28 boxes. I'm a big fan of the Reebok because I think they're, obviously the Reebok replicas, which is the kind of similar to what the Fanatics are now, but the Reebok replicas I felt really did a really good job for replica jerseys, the fully stitched crests and the material of the jerseys. I just enjoyed that product. Obviously the Fanatics, their pitch to the NHL was something that was, a little more affordable. Obviously with their foldable crest is something that they marketed themselves when they pitched themselves to the league. So it's understandable why, because to get something autographed, obviously you just want to get the number autographed. And then of course the rest of the jersey is not as vital, but I mean, hockey jerseys, they're just so beautiful. So it's great. Like I said, the cheaper, obviously the Fanatics is still a licensed product, but obviously it's the cheaper options for guys to go out there and get autographs, whether it's at the hotels or at the arenas, practice facilities, or different, individual signing sessions. Like, I mean, it's a great, chance to do that if you're getting multiples of players, whether you're looking to sell it yourself, trade it for others. I mean, it's definitely acceptable. Like I said, I do have Fanatics in my PC. It's not like I am anti-Fanatic, jersey. Sometimes that's your only option. Like I said, the only Austin Matthews I have in my PC is a Fanatics. I think it's a white. Is it a blue? I don't even remember what it is. I haven't looked at it so long, but that's the only That's the only Matthews I have. And Matthews jerseys, you look for them online and elsewhere. You'll see the prices are astronomical. Always have been. Pretty much from day one, with him being a number 1 overall pick and a legitimate 50-goal scorer year in and year out, playing for one of the biggest hockey markets on the planet in Toronto. His jerseys have never been cheap. His autograph stuff has never been cheap. So, I mean, I was happy to get the Fanatics one, and I'm not looking to upgrade. I mean, unless I come across something that is in acceptable price range, but you really can't. Like I said, you guys know from some of your favorite teams that some of these players and jerseys are impossible. So no, he does sign, but it does seem that he signs in autograph sessions. Like, I'm sure you can get him in person, at the arenas, or I don't know if he does like mall shows up in Toronto, but a lot of his stuff seems to have the Fanatics COA. I think the majority of his product is Fanatics, so he must have. I don't know if he has a contract with them to only do signing sessions with them, but I think I would say the majority of Austin Matthews autograph jerseys I've seen are Fanatics COAs. It's just, I mean, some players are like that. They just, especially if you're a high profile player like that, it's easy to latch on to one of these companies and say, I'm only going to do, sessions with them. I mean, you're still going to be able to catch them in person, but if you want something, be a verified COA, you don't see him doing lots of shows. So, I mean, I'm sure he does private signing sessions with Fanatics or a representative there, and he signs and they make the jerseys out of them. But I mean, there's certain players that are kind of like that. There's certain players that are averse to signing in general, and that makes it tough. I mean, there's certain players that have huge fan bases, and you don't see tons of them. One example of that, I think, is Gabe Landeskog. Like, even when Gabe Landeskog was healthy and playing before, they got McCarr and McKinnon, like, he was there before that. And, like, you just never see a lot of Landeskogs. And obviously Colorado's got a huge fan base. And then he got hurt, and I thought maybe he's been around. Obviously, he's been working out and getting ready to play. But, I was hoping to find some when he was, not playing. And even the ones I saw were quite pricey. So he's always going to be a fan favorite in Colorado. Obviously, he was the captain for a long period of time. And, even when he's been out, he's definitely, I saw him that he showed up at the ceremony they had for McKinnon, who actually, he was the first NHL to hit 100 this year, but he hit 1,000 points. They had a ceremony for him and his family, and Landeskog was there. It's just like he's definitely visible and around the Colorado franchise. That's all he was working out. Looks like he's been skating and practicing, so they're hoping to get him back. I don't know, how that affects if he's able to play in the playoffs, but it's just tough. Like I said, I mean that's the thing. I mean the usually the Matthews are a series headliner or one of the top 2 or 3 in the series. That's why this new series Hit Parade just came out with there's a Fanatics white Matthews and the red Adidas Gordie Howe. I'm thinking, it's worth grabbing some of those boxes if I can pretty much almost, like, I'm not going to gouge you guys, but I want to get them. So if we're going to have something on Wednesdays, like this is the first time in a month I haven't had to do anything on Monday night at 8 p.m. And then, of course, we're not going to be breaking tomorrow because, I don't have any of that third-party stuff. So I was thinking about grabbing some cheap, not relatively cheap, but that cheaper regular Fanatic or regular Hit Parade boxes because of those, having that Howe and having that Matthews. Obviously you got those 2 guys. If you have those 2 headliners as community hits, and you buy a couple boxes, you have chances of hitting either of them. Depending on how many spots I can do. But I'll try to do it like, if I can do, we'll see how many spots I got to do for that. But obviously it'd be pick one, get one with the teams. And of course, those two players will be community hits because there's still some pretty good headliners. And obviously there's some good names on the checklist, even if the majority of them are custom. It's still worth it. It's still worth it just to have an opportunity for you guys to, spend, under $15, even if it's like $10 or $12 for 2 teams, pick one, get one, and then have a chance at both of those monsters. Because I would love, it's tough for me to buy either one of those players and get them into my product because it just skews things too much. But, something like that where, basically if you have some boxes, you guys have a chance of that. Even if it's 1 in 100 chances that the box contains one of those guys, it's still worth it for me to give you guys a chance to hit one of those. Like I said, I have a Matthews, I have a Howe, so it's not like I'm going to be, in that break at all with you guys. I'm not chasing either one of those, but just want to give you guys a relatively cheap chance to grab those. So we'll see. Like I said, I know I can get those boxes in a couple days, and that's probably what I'm leaning on because this Monday was it felt weird not having something. Like I said, I like to have, something I can just throw up and then you guys can fill over the next couple of days and we can break it on Wednesday. Just a fun one and done. So we'll see if I grab some of those. Probably have to, to make it worth my while, I got to order multiple boxes, to get the shipping worth it for me. So we'll see. We'll see what my plan is. So I'll let you know for sure, but that's what I'm leaning towards. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, I'll post any details I have, and of course the other headliners in the series. But I know they still have that series just came out, so I know they're still available on the David Adams Hit Parade site. So, like I said, just one box tonight. We'll see what comes out. I know we have an interesting mix. I know Big Al was tied up, so he didn't get to us late, but he grabbed some spots. It's good to see John here from over in Big Al's room. He showed up and then put up the bet signal for Al to come grab some spots. So I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. I saw you grabbed the spot. We have 10. I don't know if we got the 10. Like I said, 28 spots go pretty fast. We had us down to I think 3 or 4 left, and then Ron came in to be the closer mojo, which we've seen is real. So we'll see if that happens to Ron. Like I said, he grabbed 4 spots to close us. So that's 1 in 7 chance. You grab 4 spots, you got a 1 in 7 chance of hitting. There's no skewing the odds. Mathematically, four spots is in 28 boxes is 1 in 7. There's no ends, ifs, or buts about that. So anybody that has 4 spots, you're definitely in the same boat. I think Derek, you have 3. Oh, you have 4 too. Yes, you got Derek. Derek's been hot. He's on a heater. Ron's been on a bit of a heater. James M is on a bit of heater. Some of you guys are real hot. So I definitely see you grabbing some spots. Did James get 4? James has 4 too. So James, Derek, Ron, All three is looking at 1-7 odds. Big Al got, how many he got? He had two, I think. Did he have two spots or did he have three spots? I think he might have three. He might have three. I think he had three. So he's just under the 1-7 odds. CK has a couple. Like I said, John got his spot. Who else does we have in? Mike H. And Mike H has got at least four. So he's got the best odds. He got, I think, 5 spots. So there's your odds. Better than 1-7 for Mike H. And he's been on the heater as well. Some of you guys have been on fire. So now you're bumping up against each other. Steve S got a spot. Ty's got a couple. Who else are we missing? Let me see. Thomas M's got a couple spots. I think that's everybody. So it's good room, good guys. Everybody's hit before, except John. I don't think has hit before. It was just he's the one spotter tonight. So we'll see if that pays off for him. But all you guys have hit before. Some of you guys are on, a bit of a heaters here and elsewhere. So good luck to you. Make sure we get over to Big Al's tomorrow I think he has 3 boxes left from the East Coast series. So just about done with that. I'm not sure what the spot prices will be tomorrow, but we'll get done his next 3 boxes in the next, week or so, week and a half. So then we'll see what he's going to move on to as well. But here we're going strong with the WAFFLEBOARD breaks. 28 boxes. What do we got? 3, 6, 7, 8, 24 on the table, 4 right here on the shelf. So they're all pretty much in our view, all 28 boxes. No ifs, ands, or buts. And we should get going. Let's see. Let's get going. Let's get my randoms up and my dice roller. There we go. Let's see what we got. Dice roller and our list. Okay. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Of course, as always, we do 5 or more on the dice roll to decide how many times we'll randomize our lists. And there we have it. 60 and 95 is our oldest boxes. Then we got 3, 3, and then 7 and 13. So we're getting down. It's just 6 different runs are live. 2 are single boxes. 2 have 3 each. So we'll see. Like I said, it's 14 new boxes. That's about, or 13 new boxes, rather. So almost 50-50 shot of a new box coming out. But not rooting for or against anything. Can't wait to see what comes out. You guys are great. I appreciate the support. And we'll get back to this at Thursday. So same spot prices Thursday. Just one less box. One box better odds. So here we go. 5 or more, guys. See what we got. 2 is no good. 5 or more. Let's do it. 12, polar opposite, boxcars, 12 times. So good luck, guys. Because I don't know what that means. We have 28 boxes and half of them are new boxes. I have no idea what 12 means. There we go. 28 boxes. 12 times. 2. Long road. 5, 6, 7. Easy. 8. Okay. 9, 10, 11. And the box we're going to open tonight is going to be box number, what do you got for us? 59. 59 is a new run. 59, 12 times. 59, 28 boxes, 12 times. Box 59. Woo! You said we got a 50-50 shot. 59. Okay. 59 is staring us in the face. 59 it is. So good luck, everybody. How many people we got? We got some people here. Some people watching live. Some people watching at home or watching in tape delay. Good luck to everybody. Let's see what we got. Let me circle my notes here. Box 59. Let me see. Okay. Box 59 it is. Box 59. Let's see what box 59 has for us. Now down to 27 boxes for Thursday nights. Absolutely crazy. 26 and 25, of course, on Sunday. Of course, I'll end what hits tonight and what hits on Thursday. So we'll be down to 26 and 25 box odds on Sunday. Last double box before the reload goes in. So pretty insane. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. Box 59. Show us what you got. Oh, 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 oh. It is not Mike Bossy. It is 6 times signed by members of the New York Islander dynasty. That is Billy Smith. That is Brian Trottier. That is Bob Nystrom. That is Dennis Potvin. That is John Tonelli. That is Butch Goring. All 6 members of the New York Islanders Stanley Cup champion. 4 times straight New York Islanders champion. Absolutely amazing jersey. Look at this. Obviously, it's a PSA, COA. Oh, this is just... Obviously, they must have got together. It's a Heroes jersey from the Vintage Hockey, obviously, who passed away, no longer with us. Mike Bossy, CCM Vintage. There it is. That's a vintage rep from CCM. Vintage reps. Obviously, a Mike Bossy jersey with the 22. Signed by 6 of the Islander legends. Billy Smith, Brian Trottier, Dennis Potvin, Bob Nystrom, Butch Goring, and John Tonelli. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Look at that. That is an absolutely incredible jersey. There's nothing even more needs to be said about that absolute beauty. Obviously, Mike Bossy no longer with us. Rest in peace. But obviously, the signing session, they got this one of the CCM reps. So that's it. The vintage Heroes of Hockey jersey. They made the Bossy jerseys up, but they had players sign them. Of course, PSA, COA. Can't get much better than that. Obviously, clearly signed in silver paint pen by the 6 Stanley Cup champions, New York Islanders. So there it is. That's the absolute monster if you're going to hit it. There it is. Congratulations. And that is Ty. Congratulations, Ty. I knew you had a couple spots today, and that came off the board real quick tonight. So congratulations on the New York Islanders, 6 times signed Stanley Cup champions, Mike Bossy jersey. So there we go. Absolutely amazing. Of course, you'd love to have a Bossy jersey, but he passed away several years ago. I mean, I haven't seen a Bossy signed jersey in quite forever. I have a couple of his cards from back when he signed for the draft picks, classic draft picks. He was inserted in there, and I think they're numbered out of 4,000, maybe not even. Like, that's definitely a card worth hunting down if anybody would like to have a Bossy Sig in their collection. But yeah, there you go. Congratulations, Ty. Sorry for everybody that did not hit. But of course, the odds are now even better for your hits. Obviously, we have 27 boxes remaining before the reload. Actually, just 5 more boxes to go before the reload. But 27 boxes right now before we get down to 22 and then reload it up. But there we go. Yeah, that's an absolute monster. Congratulations. Such a beaut. Like I said, sometimes you're happy whenever your jersey hits, but sometimes you're sad to see one go because that's an absolute beauty. You don't see jerseys like that come along very long. Obviously, must have been a signing session they did. I don't know. Obviously, definitely after Bossy passed away, but I'm sure there's an Islander autograph session that PSA was involved with, and they got them to sign all those. Yeah, there you go. Congratulations. That's definitely deserving of some congratulations because that's an absolute beautiful CCM rep. Obviously, like not like no fight strap. I know it does, but that's like the rep fight strap. That's not a real fight strap. That's just how they make the fake replica CCM jersey, the Heroes of Hockey jerseys. So there you go. Such a beaut. Such an absolute gorgeous Mike Bossy to go out. So there you go. So thank you much, guys. Of course, I'll take that down from eBay and off the list for Thursday. So make sure you're back here on Thursday night for the second Facebook claim of the week, 27 boxes. I look forward to seeing you guys back here. But thank you much, guys. Like I said, I 100% appreciate the total continued support, and I hope to see you guys back here Thursday night, 8 p.m. So enjoy your Wednesday off. No breaking from me. Make sure you stop over at Big Al's if you're interested in chasing the East Coast box. So thank you much, guys. I will talk to you Thursday nights. Take care. WAFFLEBOARD Breaks is out.